Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It's Robert, joined by my buddy Max. He always wants to be with me, always wants to be part of the videos. I might be taking on a bigger task than I realize, but I'm going to go for it anyway. I want to rank the studio albums of Rush. This will be all on CD, because that's where I have all my collection. And just a side note, I'm missing three albums by them, which hopefully after all this stuff is over, I'll be able to pick up. I'm missing Power Windows, Singles, and Farewell to Kings. So I apologize for that, but I do have 16 of their studio albums, as well as a couple of side notes that I'll be showing you in just a second. Before I get into it, please hit the like and subscribe button below. Thank you to all that have liked and subscribed so far. I greatly appreciate it. I want to continue to put great content out there to be informative and to show you guys some great bands and artists that I have in my collection. Thank you again for all your great comments, your great feedback, your likes. It's all very important to me. I'm trying to push to 100 subs. I'm at 89 right now, so chug, chug, chug. I just want to keep on going because I love it and it's great. So, yeah, so let's get into it. Before I get into the discography, a lot of this, or the later stuff, came from this great box set. The studio albums, 1989 to 2007. A lot of their later stuff, Presto, Roll the Bones, Counterparts, Test for Echo, Vapor Trails Remix, Feedback, and Snakes and Arrows. Feedback, of course, compilation of some of their favorite artists and bands that influenced them. This one here. Cool psychedelic cover and CD package. So you've got Summertime Blues, Heart Full of Soul, For What It's Worth, The Seeker, Mr. Soul, 7 and 7 Is, Shape of Things, and Crossroads. Cool stuff. I also have All the World's a Stage, amazing live album, recorded in Toronto. Yeah. And I do have one vinyl. Maybe that's sacrilegious to the vinyl community, but this is 2112 in concert in Kiev, and it's on violet vinyl. Good stuff. But let's get into it. I'll try to keep this as short as possible. So again, I have 16 studio albums. I'm missing 3. But we'll start off with number 16. And this is not a best to worst, and it's only my opinion. I'd hope that you guys comment on your favorites and your bests and your least favorite. So I guess because each album on its own has some standouts, and I try to point those out. But if you rank them together, there are some that are better than others. Let's put it that way. So this is least to more favorite. How about that? And maybe some that I'm just not 100% familiar with, because I'm not. I haven't listened to them as much, so this list could change tomorrow. But anyway, let's get started. So at number 16, Presto. Presto, again, the 13th studio album, released in 1989. Love the song Show Don't Tell. Great guitar riffs. Chain Lightning, another rockin' tune, and Superconductor. Those three on their own. It's a long album. It's an hour and it's quite a long album. I don't have the exact. Yeah, there's 10 tracks on here, 11 tracks on here, so it's a fairly lengthy album. But from that, I also compiled a Spotify playlist called Deep Cuts. So I tried to choose deeper cuts from each album that I'll be showing here today. So from that, I chose Chain Lightning. Great guitar work from Alex. Highly underrated guitarist in my opinion. Always will be highly underrated. He can keep it up with the best of them. Just an amazing player. Next, at number 15, Roll the Bones. So I have a CD from the box set. I also have an individual CD. Great album. It's their 14th studio album, released in 1991. It definitely has some standouts. Opening track, Dreamline. Love Bravado. Easygoing song. Love the rhythm of it as well. Getty sounds great, and the bass line is to die for. Title track, Roll the Bones. Love the rapping in it. I always thought it was Neil doing the rapping, but come to find out it was Getty. They just altered his voice to make him sound like that. But I always thought it was Neil Peart doing the rapping. And of course, Ghost of a Chance, another great tune to top off the album. So from Roll the Bones, a deep cut I've chosen is You Bet Your Life. Great album. Number 14, Vapor Trails. This is a remix version. Sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. Another long album, 13 tunes on it. 17th studio album, released in 2002. Great blast of an opening tune in One Little Victory. Amazing guitar work in Rider and Ghost Rider, sorry, and Peaceful Kingdom and The Stars Look Down. Yeah, heavy tunes. Heavy tunes. So from that, I chose Sweet Miracle. Without a trace, no hope at all. Rising up to the sky. Again, the remix sounds really good. I'll be sharing that Spotify playlist as well. Yeah. Number 13, Hold Your Fire. 12th studio album, released in 1987. Opening track, Force 10. Again, great bass work by Getty. Love Time Stand Still. And if I'm correct, it's the only time they had a female backup singer. And I've got a couple of their albums as well. They're a great band. From Till Tuesday, it's Amy Mann. Of course, the powerful song Mission and Turn the Page. Great bunch of tunes on this one. So from Hold Your Fire, I chose Turn the Page. Number 12, Snakes and Arrows. So I've got 2 copies of that, again, one on its own and one from the box set. So Snakes and Arrows, the 18th studio album, released in 2007. Another long album, well over an hour long. Armor and Sword, Working Them Angels, powerful songs. The Main Monkey Business, another great tune. Instrumental. It's just an amazing example of Alex and his guitar work. Yeah, he's so versatile. He's just an amazing artist. Hope is a nice little ditty as well off the album. Going back to 12. Okay. So from Snakes and Arrows, I chose Faithless. At number 11, Test for Echo. Test for Echo, 16th studio album, released in 1996. Title track slowly builds to a heavy riff track. Sounds great. Love Alex's playing. Driven is another awesome track. Love the combination of acoustic and heavy rhythms in that track. Dog Ears, fairly heavy track as well, and Resist, powerful song, wonderful song. And from Test for Echo, I chose Driven. Just starts off on a blast. I wish I could play the whole thing, but I can't. One of my favorites. I think it's an amazing, beautiful album. It's a fitting album because it was their final studio album, Clockwork Angels. Just a remarkable mixture of wonderful songs. So again, it's the 19th and final album released in 2012, final studio album. It's a fairly heavy album as well, another long one at over an hour long. BU2B, rock and heavy tune. Carney's, kind of a cool tune as well. Halo Effect, really good track. And of course The Garden. Just highlights everyone, highlights their abilities, highlights just how powerful the band is. Whenever I watch the live video of that, it's just remarkable that what they put together as far as the stage presence, and it brings tears to your eyes. That it's such a beautiful, wonderfully played song. It's a fitting end to the album, and I guess kind of through their career. So that was number 10. Number 9, Counterparts. Another amazing album. It's their 15th studio album, released in 1993. Animate Night, right out of the gate. Stick It Out, heavy track and rockin' tune. The powerful Nobody's Hero, sorry. Other highlights are Speed of Love, Leave That Thing Alone, and Cold Fire. Love the guitar work and the lyrics. Rush, they don't talk about love too much in their songs, but the lyrics say it's not a love song, it's a fantasy. Alex, again, so many great solos from Alex. I just love his playing. I better move these because they're getting in my way here. So from I'm sorry, let me just go back again to Clockwork Angel. I forgot to show you the BU2B. And from Counterparts, Between Sun and Moon. Number 9, number 8, Grace Under Pressure. 10th studio album, released in 1984. It's a shorter album, 39 minutes. Started off with a great Distant Early Warning. Same thing about Red Sector A. There's something about that song I really like. I can't put my finger on it, but it's a cool track. I think maybe the brightness of the guitars and throughout that song. But yeah, it's the body electric, cool bass riffs, and of course Neil's driving rhythm. Just a cool album. So from that I chose Afterimage. Next, this has always been my favorite of the band. Perhaps it may not be their best album. It's before the Neil Peart years. They were just a rockin' band. They put out this debut album, and it just blew everyone away. The late John Rutsey was an amazing drummer on his own. They were Led Zeppelin-like on this particular album, and again, it's kind of dear to my heart. This is Rush's debut album, and that falls in at number 7. Just a rockin' tune. There's no prog on this one whatsoever. It's released in 1974, of course, their first studio album. Definitely Led Zeppelin-like. Straight, again, featuring John Rutsey on drums. Straight ahead rock album, no prog. Geddy's high-pitched vocals. Alex rockin' guitar. He could stand up to anyone. John Rutsey laying down great tracks and rhythms. I love every track on the album. There's not a bad track. You got Finding My Way, Need Some Love, Take a Friend, Here Again, What You're Doing, In the Mood, Before and After, and of course the powerful Working Man. Right out of the gate, it's just an amazing album. And from that I chose Take a Friend. With the great intro. I love it every time I hear it. At number 6, Fly By Night. Love the cover. Fly By Night, their second studio album, released in 1975. John Rutsey had left the band, didn't want to tour, wasn't in the best of health. So they found this guy, this tall, long, lanky guy called Neil Peart, and he would change the band forever. in his playing, in his lyrics, in his vision. Yeah. Basically, an amazing, I guess, start to the band. Beneath, between, behind, very Led Zeppelin like. Anthem, heavy track, in your face to start off the album. Fly By Night, of course. Making Memories, another Led Zeppelin like tune. Rivendell, soft departure, kind of go from in your face to that soft departure, Rivendell. In the End, Alec's guitar work is so good, and there's double leads throughout. Heavy underrated player again. I'm going to say that 1,000 times. But from Fly By Night, I chose Beneath, Between, Behind. Very Led Zeppelin like. And at number 5, Crest of Steel. We're getting into the meat right now. Crest of Steel, third studio album released in 1975. Short album at only 5 songs. Another in your face song, Bastille Day, to start off the album. I Think I'm Going Bald. REM. As a rockin' tune. I love Lakeside Park. Kind of just takes you away, puts you right inside in the middle of that park near Toronto. You can imagine sitting in the middle of the park listening to that tune. Haunting guitar work of Into the Darkness. And again, Alex can stand up to the best of them. An amazing player. So off of that, I chose I Think I'm Going Bald. Kind of in the mood type of song. Just a raunchy guitar work on that one. That was number 5. Number 4, 2112. 2112, the 4th studio album released in 1976. Of course, that epic whole side of side 1, just epic from start to finish. Real journey, an amazing journey. Passage to Bangkok, a haunting tune, rockin' and in your face. Neil's lyrics show up on this album, and The Twilight Zone is a great example. And of course, it ends with a heavy Something for Nothing. So from 2112, I chose Lessons. It's a rush kind of day for sure. Number 3, Permanent Waves. Permanent Waves. 7th release from 1980. Another short album. Their later albums were definitely shorter than their later albums were definitely longer than their earlier albums. Perhaps, and this is just hindsight, perhaps if they would have shortened some of their later albums, put more meat into them, maybe they would have ranked a little higher. But again, I'm not ranking these from best to worst. I'm just ranking them from least to greatest, I guess. So it starts off with a rock and Spirit of Radio, leads into Free Will, another popular track, and love the rhythm of Entre Vous, sorry. Yeah. From that, I chose Different Strings. Number 2, Hemispheres. Hemisphere is the 4 songs, 36 minutes long. 6th studio album released in 1978. Circumstances, heavy intro. Great song, The Trees. Who writes songs about trees, really? River, and the remarkable La Via Strandato. An epic instrumental. Alex is playing a second to none. Neil's drumming is remarkable. Geddy's bass shows that he's one of the best bass players. They're having fun on this one. If you watch the video, they're having a great time. They're at the top of their game, even though they're still young in their career. They know they've got it. They know they've hit the big time, and yeah, it's just remarkable. So from that, I chose Circumstances. Yeah. And finally, number 1, Moving Pictures. From start to finish, a remarkable album. It's the 8th studio album from released in 1981. Right off the bat, Tom Sawyer, and into Red Barchetta, which takes you on a journey. You can imagine driving through this open road. Another great instrumental in YYZ. Again, highlighting the band's talents. Limelight, Camera's Eye, Witch Hunt, very haunting tune. Then you get into the reggae style of Vital Signs. Only 7 songs on the album, but such a powerful album. From that, I chose the Camera Eye, sorry. I had mentioned earlier the compilation album, and from that I chose, for this playlist, I chose Shape of Things. And to round off the playlist from All the World's a Stage, I chose Something for Nothing. So again, I wish I could play the whole thing, can't, but there's my ranking of Rush. Took a while to put this together. I know it's a fairly long video. Please leave your ranking if you have such a thing. I'd appreciate to see what you guys came up with. And again, thank you for watching. I know it's a long video, but it was well worth it for me. It was quite an adventure, and something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And once all this stuff clears up, I'm going to get those other 3 albums and complete my discography for Rush. And then I'll get into their live albums and things like that. But again, this is quite an accomplishment. I'm glad I did it. It was a lot of fun revisiting the albums again. Yeah, I'll treasure them forever. Anyway, thank you so much. Have yourself a wonderful day, and take care. Bye now.